Alright, welcome to another set of videos that I'm going to be making. This time I'm going to be playing Modern Ad Nauseam. It's been a deck I've played for a fair while now. I've had pretty good success with it. I've taken it to a few tournaments and done well. So I'm going to be taking you through a league today, and it's really just so I can keep practicing with the deck. I like the deck a lot, and it only really has like one awful matchup right now. So anyway, let's get on to the deck tech. If you don't know what Ad Nauseam is, it is a combo deck in Modern where essentially you either cast an Angel's Grace or you get a Phyrexian Life in play, and then you cast your the namesake of the deck, Ad Nauseam. Basically, what Ad Nauseam will let you do, pick up your entire deck, and then once you have your deck in your hand, you either play a Laboratory Maniac followed by Serum Visions and win via Labman, or you cast a Lightning Storm and throw a bunch of lands at your opponent's face. The way that we get up to that point where we combo off, we have some fast mana in the Lotus Bloom and Pentat Prism. Kind of ramps us up there. We have card selection and Serum Visions, sleight of hand, and sometimes Spoils of Vault. I'll go over that card later. We have the two combo enablers, is what I like to call them, Angel's Grace and Phyrexian Life. Angel's Grace, the important part for when you're comboing off, the clause that says you can't lose the game this turn, and your opponents can't win the game this turn. So basically, what'll happen is you'll play an Angel's Grace, and then you're Ad Nauseam, and you pick up your entire library, but normally, if you would Ad Nauseam, you'd have to watch your life total because you do lose life equal to whatever the converted mana cost of the card is that you put in your hand. However, since you can't lose the game this turn, it doesn't matter, so you usually end up like -50, -60 something life when you pick up your entire deck. With Phyrexian Unlife, the first clause is the important one, where it says you don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. And this sometimes confuses people. The second part, where it says as long as you have 0 or less life, all damage is dealt to you as though its source had infect. Some people claim that Ad Nauseam should kill you because, if you're at like, once you get to 0 life, whatever, it should start dealing with infect damage. However, the way Ad Nauseam is worded is it says you lose life equal to its converted mana cost, you're not dealt damage. So it kind of bypasses that clause anyway. So you can combo off with the Phyrexian Life. Both of those cards are also really good at buying time, especially against like creature-based decks. Unlife is pretty good about buying a few turns or more. So I guess we'll go back to the Spoils of the Vault. I very briefly mentioned this card in the card selection, but namely, the purpose of this card is kind of an emergency button for when you absolutely have to go off. Like you have to kill them that turn, or you're going to die on the crackback or something. Because basically what this card does is you play it, and you name a card, and you reveal cards off the top of your deck until you find whatever card it is that you named, and you put that card in your hand. But every other card that was revealed with Spoils of the Vault gets exiled, and you lose life for each card that is exiled with Spoils of the Vault. And the reason you don't want to cast this if you don't have to is to avoid exiling your 2 win cons, your Laboratory Maniac or your Lightning Storm. I've lost games before where I go to Spoils of the Vault for an Ad Nauseam because I just need to kill them, and like the first 3 cards or something were like Lightning Storm, land, Labman, and I just lost the game because I couldn't win. So really the main purpose of this card is kind of another combo piece. It like helps you find the cards that you need in a pinch if you absolutely have to go off. However, there's the card selection part that I mentioned earlier is if you happen to know what the top card of your library is, like say you scryed it to the top with the Serum Visions or one of your lands, or there's a Goblin Guide trigger on the stack or something, a Goblin Guide trigger just resolved, you can actually Spoils of the Vault and kind of use it as like an instant speed cantrip, because it is an instant. So, let's say you scry to the top and Angel's Grace, you have 2 mana open, and your opponent goes to bolt you. You can Spoils the Vault, name Angel's Grace, draw the Angel's Grace, and then cast it, so you won't die that turn. So that's kind of a neat thing. There's also using this card. There's also like a hidden win condition. Usually you have to go for it when like your Ad Nauseams all get like Surgical Extraction out of your deck or something, where you have to have a Phyrexian Unlife in play, or you have to have an Angel's Grace or an Unlife. You have to have a Laboratory Maniac on the board, and then on your upkeep, or if it usually happens on your upkeep, you Spoils the Vault and you just name a card that's not in your library. Because what'll happen is Spoils the Vault will exile your entire deck, and if they don't kill the Laboratory Maniac before you draw step, you win because of his clause. You can also do it during your main phase if you happen to have a Serum Visions in your hand, but that's a lot less. Happens a lot less than just having, than just doing it on your upkeep. And lastly, for the spells, we have 3 Pact Negation. Pretty straightforward. It just helps protect the combo. Sometimes your opponent goes to Thoughtseizes away or something. You're about to combo off next turn. If you have Pact Negation in your hand, you can just stop it. Notably, you can bypass the losing the game without paying the mana if you have an Angel's Grace. So what you do is on your upkeep, in response to the Pact trigger, you just Angel's Grace. It says Angel's Grace says you can't lose the game this turn. You just don't pay. You don't have to pay the mana for the Pact, and you won't die. That's usually relevant if like you need to move to your draw step and you need to find a land for the Ad Nauseam or something, where you can't just combo off on your upkeep, because Angel's Grace and Ad Nauseam are both instants, and so is Lightning Storm, so you can combo off at instant speed. So if somebody taps out or in response to your Pact trigger. The mana base is pretty straightforward. We have 4 of the blue-black fastland, 4 of the blue-white fastland, 4 gemstone mines, 1 basic plains, 4 Temple of Deceits, 2 Temple of Enlightenments, and 1 Urborg to kind of just smooth the mana out. This is a pretty standard mana base. Some people don't play Urborg; they play like Dreadship Reef, or I saw one guy playing Mikokoro, Center of the Sea, I think is what it's called, which kind of threw me off guard. Other people just opt to have this as a second basic land, but I'm not really that worried about Blood Moon or Path or anything like that, so I just opt to play the Urborg because it makes my gemstone mines better. But yeah. Alright, on to the sideboard now. Most of the stuff is pretty straightforward. We have 1 Slaughter Pact to get rid of problematic creatures such as Gadok Teague or Eidolon of Rhetoric, or things like that that can stop you from comboing off. We have a Duress to come in against. I'm usually doing it against like Tron. Just get rid of a big Planeswalker that might cause you some trouble. It's good against decks with a lot of counterspells, because before you go off, you just Duress them. If they have the counterspell, you take it, and if they have more than 1 counterspell, you just don't go off. So it's pretty good. It's also good about picking up or taking away Abrupt Decays. So like, if you're going off with Laboratory Maniac, like let's say you can't kill them with a Lightning Storm for whatever reason, you can Duress them, take their Abrupt Decay, play your Lab Man, and then kill them. So yeah, we have 3 fog effects. Darkness is like literally just a straight fog, but in black. Ethereal Haze says prevent all damage that would be dealt by creatures this turn, so not just combat damage. It's notably that I'm playing more of those than I have Darkness because it's better against Eidolon of the Great Revel. I'm playing the 1 Darkness just because it's easier on the mana base. There have been games where I just don't have white mana and I die with Ethereal Hazes in my hand. We have a Disenchant and an Echoing Truth to kind of just pick up problematic permanents, like Stony Silence or Blood Moon, or maybe sometimes a Ley Line of Sanctity, kind of whatever. Rest in Peace against Grave Red decks, pretty obvious. Urkel's Recall against Lantern and Affinity. A Radiant Flames. I've added this to my sideboard. I'm kind of just trying it out because I've noticed a lot of the counter company decks are getting popular on Moto, and so are the green white humans or Bant humans, whatever you want to call the deck. That deck's getting pretty popular on Moto as well. Although the more I think about it, the more I'm tempted to just switch this to a Damnation, but I'll try it out. It's also good. It's also good. Pretty decent against Dredge. We have the 4 Leyline of Sanctities in the board against discard and burn. You can't really beat decks that are really heavy on discard, such as Death Shadow without a Leyline in play. So that's why we're packing all 4. Then we also have a Godhead of Awe. I actually have yet to cast this card. I've been watching lists develop online, and like what people are playing in their sideboard, combat Death Shadow, and etc. I've noticed a lot of lists have been playing Godhead of Awe. And my assumption is it's for Death Shadow. Like, I don't see any other deck you'd really play it against. So I'm going to try it out. We'll see how it is. We play against Death Shadow. I'm going to bring it in. So, yeah. That is Modern Ad Nauseam for you. Let's go ahead and get on with the league.